We're also making the announcements on our side. If you guys want to announce on your side right now.
Yes, we already did. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Cool. It's very early, Tim, for you, Tim.
It's yeah, I've had like 3 hours sleep. It's it's very early.
Where are you at?
I'm in LA.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm in Eastern time, so it's almost 8 here, so it's not that bad. Are you always based in LA or just currently?
No, just the last few months. There's a lot of partners and brands here. But yeah, normally in Australia, normally it's a bit better. Normally it's at nighttime, these kind of calls.
Yeah, that's true. So how's Australia with the whole COVID thing?
It was, Australia pretty much closed itself down and was going okay. And they were like a bubble, and now COVID has kind of hit. So it's you
Awesome.
kind of like it's strange. Like you come to LA and America, and like everything's opening up again, and no one's wearing masks anymore, and
Yeah.
like you're reading about Australia, and things are getting kind of bad over there. So hopefully it works itself out.
Yeah, Mexico's even worse than the U.S. They really don't care about anything here. They'll be having parties, no mask on, either inside or outside. It's yeah, it's really like open here. I guess it's a very different kind of way. And yet it's weird because you don't see so much cases, but I think they're not reporting them because it's kind of weird that there's not that many cases of people partying, stuff like that.
Yeah, especially I think Omicron, the symptoms are not very severe. Most people are just getting mild symptoms. So
Yeah.
a few days and they get better. So they don't necessarily go to the hospital and report all that.
Yeah, they just think it's like a regular cold, right?
Yeah.
Everyone
And even here in Shanghai, recently there were like I think 800 or 900 cases where people don't have any symptoms, but they just tested positive, and then still people are getting, well, not people are quite calm, but the government is getting quite anxious.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird. I mean, it's probably other politics involved. Everyone who's watching, thank you so much for being here. We're gonna start in a couple minutes. We're just waiting a little bit more for more people to join, but thanks for being here and saying your hellos. We have a couple people saying hello already in the chat.
Cool. Are we are already live, right?
Yes, we're already live. People can already see it. Yeah. They're just seeing us talking about COVID in different parts of the world. But we'll be talking soon about Chronicle. So guys, please stay tuned. We're going to start the real topics and what you want to learn in a bit. I'm sorry, we do not understand Arabic. So if you want to write in English, use your Google Translator. We'll be happy to check your comments, guys. Just check on the final thing. We can start. We will be starting in a couple minutes. We're going to post it a little bit more. So are you guys going to I guess it will be just you, Tim, to the NFT conference in LA?
That's in a few days, isn't it? Yeah, there's a lot of buzz happening there. So yeah, we'll be around. And then I think straight after that, there's a conference, BTC Miami.
Oh yeah.
As well. We've got a few friends going there. We probably won't be there, but we'll have some representation there.
Okay, nice. We will have some too if you guys want to send somebody to our representation.
Yeah.
I see. Okay, so I think we can go ahead and get started for a little bit. That way people can introduce it. So guys, thanks for everyone who's watching. We're going to be talking about Chronicle today. Very exciting to learn more about them. So guys, if you can introduce yourself, let's start with Jim. Could you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, hey guys, thanks for having me. My name is Jim Jin, and I'm a co-founder of Chronicle, and really happy to be here today to introduce Chronicle to you guys. and share my opinions on NFTs and Chronicle's roadmap and all that.
Thanks for being here. Okay, and how about Tim? Could you please introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, Tim Glover here. I am also a co-founder of Chronicle like Jim and CEO of Chronicle. And yeah, very excited to be here today with the Gate.io audience talking about everything to do with Chronicle and the ecosystem that we're building and our up and coming roadmap.
Amazing, glad to have you for sure. We definitely are excited to learn more. And people are already commenting, like, what are you guys doing with that NFT? So let's start at the base. What is Chronicle? Tell us about your mission, kind of your purpose. What are you looking to do with Chronicle?
Yeah, and I think when we talk about Chronicle, there's probably two things that we can discuss. There's kind of like the parent company, Chronicle Media, which we see ourselves as a Web3 media company. That's building up the NFT ecosystem and space and partnering with different brands. And then we've got the more Chronicle of what you kind of see, which is the marketplace and the NFT platform. And we kind of see two distinct missions, I suppose, and one is with the brands and one is with fans and users. And from the brand perspective, we very much see ourselves as being able to partner up with existing beloved brands across the entertainment space and helping them get into this world of NFTs and the metaverse. A lot of the brands have kind of come out in like the last sort of 12 months and seen these amazing things with NFTs. Whether it's revenue income or an opportunity for them to like market their product. They get very excited but they don't know the first step of how to get into this world. And so, our positioning was that we wanted to help them come into this world of NFTs and the metaverse. And the second thing is that we wanted to create something easy and simplified that allows their fans to basically sort of safely navigate this space. And so we created a platform, for example, which is quite centralized, but it allows people to register safely with just you just need a Gmail account or a Facebook account or an email address. We built the solution on top of Aurora, a blockchain that sits on top of Near protocol, and we handle all of kind of the complexity of blockchain for them. Users can basically log on and navigate the different digital collectibles from the brands that we partnered with and make a purchase of an NFT from an officially licensed brand that can be just done from their credit card, and the collectibles stay on the user's profile of their accounts. And so that for someone that doesn't know this space very well, doesn't understand MetaMask or Ethereum or heavy gas prices, this is the perfect sort of entry solution for them to get in on that NFTs. And that's really what we wanted to create.
Okay, yeah, I saw it and it's pretty interesting, and I definitely think it's useful because a lot of people, they do want to get into NFTs, but it's just they don't know the steps. Like you said, it gets complicated for a newbie to come in and buy it, which is what we're seeing. A lot of people try to put out their NFTs, but their fans are not very knowledgeable about how to use the whole system. So it's great that you guys are creating something that's simple to use. I saw that you guys had even Penn and Teller coming up. So that was pretty exciting. Yeah, I saw it and I got excited about that. So congratulations on that. So let's talk a little bit about you guys. Let's start with Jim. What's your story? How did you end up in the whole blockchain world? How did you end up in Chronicle? Kind of tell us a little bit more about you and your story.
Yeah, sure. So for myself, my background is software engineering. So I was exposed to blockchain technology quite early. Well, actually, as early as 2012, but at that time, I didn't kind of devote myself to the blockchain crypto world. But I started to getting to know more about the industry and get to it in late 2017, and I started as a kind of the head of operations for an Australian crypto project called Kenya, and later on I started doing more crypto investment and also consulting services. I was actually the seed investor for Thorchain. I used to be the largest, second largest shareholder of Thorchain, and so I was kind of familiar with DeFi and NFT, and pretty much I've been going along with the trend of the blockchain. And then in early 2020, 2021, me and Tim, we know each other because we worked together in the same company before. And then we started to think, oh, what can we do with NFT? And then we did a market analysis, and based on the resources and connections and other resources we have, we decided to approach NFT from a different angle than most of the NFT platforms. We try to do it more towards the enterprise side, to serving the brands and IPs, and that's how we started this Chronicle.
Okay, thank you very much. It seems like you have a very good background, especially, you've got enough experience to be able to launch Chronicle in a very successful way. So that's very good to hear. How about you, Tim? Tell us a little bit about your background.
Yeah, so I probably entered crypto a little bit later than Jim, but my background, and I guess how it kind of relates to Chronicle, is that I've done a lot of consulting work with Universal Pictures on their Jurassic World franchise from a fan perspective. Back in 2014, when there was a big buzz and hype about a fourth Jurassic Park movie, myself and a friend, Jack, who now works for Chronicle, came up with a fan website where we were kind of speculating on the narrative of what the fourth Jurassic Park movie was going to be, and we put it all online, and kind of like as an in-world setting, and that got received very well by Universal Pictures and the director Colin Trevorrow, and suddenly for the next sort of year and a half, we found ourselves working on officially on a digital immersive experience together with Universal Pictures and with director Colin Trevorrow, and being flown over to Los Angeles, and that film ended up becoming Jurassic World with Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard, did very well, and kind of since that moment, we ended up consulting a lot with Universal Pictures on Jurassic World, and helping them, I guess, from a fan perspective, think up ideas for their toy line, merchandise, digital merchandise, everything from like the Lego VR to their Jurassic World exhibition experience. And again, we did the same thing for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom in 2018, another digital immersive experience. Can't reveal too much, but we might be doing something as well for the film that comes out this year as well. And there's been a very good relationship ongoing with Universal Pictures as well. So over these many years, and kind of in that context, with working with Jim previously in the company, and getting introduced to blockchain and cryptocurrencies and NFTs, we just saw this amazing opportunity, I guess, having an entertainment side to us, that hey, there's a whole world out there which we often compare, I suppose, banks to DeFi, and banks are old world and DeFi is the new world. All the the entertainment space, you can consider that the old world, and they really want to, they're looking at this NFT thing and they really want to get into it. And yeah, we just saw a really cool opportunity to create something like Chronicle. And sure enough, just given kind of the background of us alone, we were able to launch with something as big as Paddington. We were able to talk to the CW and get Penn and Teller, and just a few months later, we're a very young NFT company, but we were the first one in the world to do anything with the Discovery Channel, which we're very proud of through the Puppy Bowl series. And that's kind of, again, the background of Chronicle and its team, coming into the space from a media perspective.
That's amazing. How did you two guys meet? I missed that part.
Oh yeah, So previously, we were working in a company called SOAR. That's a geospatial technology company in Australia. So at that time, I was like a business strategist for them to expand to China and talking to Chinese space agency and all that. And Tim was head of brand because I think at that time Tim just returned from the U.S. from all his kind of brand and licensing work for the Universal Pictures to be with his families in Perth, Australia. So he joined the company in Australia, and that's how we got to know each other. And we like worked together like I think 2 years already, like in SOAR. Yeah, so we were pretty comfortable working with each other. And Tim also visited China. I showed him around in Beijing, and we had a lot of fun. So we were we became very good friends, and we started talking about crypto and also doing investments together in the crypto. And then that's how we got to know each other.
That's a great story. And that's actually good to hear, because sometimes you'll see this team starting a project, but they don't really quite click. And then the project falls down because of that. So it's really good that you guys already have your history. You've worked together, you know each other. So that's very good to hear. Very exciting. And it seems like you guys been doing very well. You know, I've checked out the platform. It's really nice. I actually checked the Poppy Bowl. I love those. I'm excited about those too. And obviously today your token is up, you know, 10% or more. So, you know, it seems like you guys have been doing a lot, but what's coming up? What are the next steps? What are you planning moving forward? Could you share a little bit more about this?
Yeah, for sure. You know, so one thing we could probably talk about, I suppose, short term versus long term. So, you know, short term, obviously, we are, you know, trying to commit to as much and as many features in the beta platform that everyone kind of sees when they go to the Chronicle store. Recently, and when I say recently, I mean kind of within the last month, we did go live with a Circle USDC integration. You know, and for us to get that was a big deal because we had to go through a lot of paperwork and compliance to be able to integrate with that solution. But that came with like Confido, KYC, biometric KYC. And we were also able to create a crypto wallet for our users inside their user profile. And that, you know, is kind of the precursor to us being able to do things like auctions and the secondary marketplace activation. In the very short term, we have a security overhaul that's going to be introduced into the platform. So everything from like, you know, your two-factor authentication, and I think Google authentication will, you know, will basically be going live. And then all of a sudden that will enable the secondary marketplace to basically, you know, switch on full buzz, and users will be able to withdraw funds for the first time from Chronicle. So that's very immediate. From there, we've also got our what's the term, mystery box. So, you know, the ability to kind of you know, see a collection of cards, not exactly know what you're going to get, but, you know, the gamification element of being able to make a purchase and kind of like, oh, surprise, you got you know, card number 10 out of like, you know, 500, and that kind of is actually exciting for more than one reason, because we are in discussion with a lot of brands that kind of want to, you know, they kind of like the CryptoPunk style of NFTs, and they kind of want to pursue that route. And so we're talking with a lot of brands at the moment about how we can kind of do something similar, and yeah, do it through Chronicle. So yeah, very soon you might see an announcement, for instance, of a, you know, particular punk style of a brand that you're very familiar with, and you know, you'll basically be able to purchase your collectible, and, you know, every single person's collectible will be completely unique from that perspective. So mystery boxes is coming relatively soon. In hopefully that will be the next release after the two-factor authentication, and we are pushing as hard as we can for early April. And then the much long-awaited integration of XNL integration. So we do have XNL Token which was minted on the Ethereum network. But because we were creating a solution which is more centralized, and a solution which I guess we are handling the blockchain component. We're paying the gas fee for users to mint their collectible once it's purchased. We had to kind of wait for XNL token to go onto the Aurora blockchain, which now it is. And so everything is perfectly kind of set up now for us to integrate XNL token into Chronicle. And so that's going to be a very big thing, because now we've significantly mapped out how XNL token is going to sort of work within the Chronicle ecosystem. And that leads to other things like the Chronicle passes, which white paper was called Chronicle medals. So the idea, for example, that users can use XNL token straight off the bat to purchase collectibles from the store, which give them discount from the USD price so you're incentivized to use XNL token, as well as the Chronicle passes, which if you hold that, you can get anywhere from 10 to 50% off every collectible on Chronicle, depending on, I suppose, what level of pass you'll get. But these are very much the short-term aspects of what we're building. And I guess, Jim, if you wanted to go maybe into the sort of the more ecosystem vision.
Yeah, I think for the next step for Chronicle is really to pivot some of the existing business model and also expand what we can do in terms of better serving different brands and IPs, and also adding diversity to the utility for the NFT on the platform. So we're looking at opportunity into the metaverse as well, and assets, how we can turn assets from a traditional NFT into something that people are like, it is usable for people in a kind of 3D setting, in a metaverse setting. And also, what are the kind of the new business models that we can explore to better serve the brand, to ease their kind of the process for them to get into the Web3 world. So we're slightly different from other NFT companies, that those companies are more looking at pushing an IP or something, building a platform specifically for the Web3 users. What we're trying to do is looking at the long term, we're trying to bring more brands, which are the content providers, and also its fans, all of their fans, which are most of them are 95% of them are not crypto users, are not Web3 users. So there's a learning curve for them to onboard to the Web3 world, to interact with the crypto users today. So but we can already see a pickup on the statistics that there are more fans getting know about the Web3 and NFTs, and they start to accept the new concept of digital assets and how it can be a sort of like a way of interact with IPs that they love. So these are kind of the general directions we're heading.
Yeah, and I do agree with people getting very excited and hyped about interacting in a digital way, especially in the way that you guys are portraying it. Like, it's like the fan interaction, and having that piece that connects you with whoever you admire. It's something that is really growing a lot. So you already kind of gave us a sneak peek. So let's gossip a little bit. What's coming in April? So you kind of said something about punks. What else? What kind of drops can we expect in April? Can you guys share a little bit?
Yeah, and a lot of it will be based around this up-and-coming functionality that we're going to be introducing around mystery packs. So we do have a number of brands that have been signed up, which we haven't formally announced, but I guess I can give a bit of a sneak peek exclusive here that we do have Yoo-Hoo and Friends, which is a plush toy company in South Korea, but they also are a Netflix series, if anyone's familiar with Yoo-Hoo and Friends, and we're doing something very creative and very special with them. We've also got Zorro, if anyone's familiar with Zorro and Antonio Banderas' character in the movies. But we're again, like every kind of film poster from the Zorro series, every comic book poster that's ever been created over its entire history. We kind of have access to that IP now, and so we're going to be doing something very, very cool with that. You know, there's a bunch of other brands as well. Don't want to announce all of them, but you know, those were a couple. And then we have the pre-existing brands as well, like Paddington, and we have a completely new series of Paddington collectibles actually that we're going to be dropping, which is different to what everyone's been seeing on the platform so far. And so you know, kind of these drops in combination with the mystery box is something that you can definitely expect in April. So yeah, so I guess added functionality, new brand announcements, and new collections is all coming very, very soon.
That sounds very exciting, guys. So yeah, definitely right now is the time to be checking this project out and stay pending. I definitely think a lot of things are coming. That's very, very exciting. And you know, with NFTs, there's been kind of this hype. Now we're kind of in the adoption phase, and now we're starting to see the metaverse come in like full speed. So you guys have all the resources. You have you know, so much brands and IPs. Are you thinking about doing something there? Is that on the plans?
We actually teased it in our white paper. So the reference to Chronicle Universe is a metaverse. And you know, as mentioned earlier, you know, we very much view Chronicle as an ecosystem play. It's not just the digital collectibles platform. You know, that is the first stage of a grand vision of what Chronicle can be. And you're absolutely right. I think, you know, we're in an amazing position with the relationship with the brands that we have, and you know, we are very interested in looking at, you know, what the Chronicle universe can be. You know, it might not be, you know, necessarily within the next, you know, 3 to 6 months, but you know, certainly I think as Chronicle's growing, you know, later towards the end of the year and into next year, they, you know, you may start to see a much bigger product called, you know, which is basically this metaverse idea, and this is a place where everything matters. The collectibles that you've been collecting on Chronicle will have purpose and will have utility. XNL Token will have utility. The relationship between us and the brands means something, and it's basically a place where, you know, fans can interact with their brands and their collectibles. And you know, right now we're in the I'd call it the pre-production phase. We're in the gamification phase at the moment of how this is all going to work. You know, will users be able to get land, and you know, what kind of attractions will there be in this metaverse, and you know, how big can this be? That's currently what we're discussing. So yeah, very, very excited to sort of more formally announce this Chronicle universe as we draw closer to it.
Very exciting news. Definitely want to check that out. I would love to see a metaverse with the Poppy Bowl stars in it.
We've discussed this, yeah.
That would be really fun.
Yeah. Who doesn't love poppies?
I know. And especially the Poppy Bowl. Who doesn't love the Poppy Bowl, right? So we're going to move on to a couple of questions that people ask on Twitter. So first is,
Sure.
you know, what can people do by owning an NFT in the world of Chronicle? You know, what's different in Chronicle that would be in other platforms?
Yeah, I can probably start answering this, and Jim, feel free to come in. But I mean, first of all, not every NFT platform out there does have officially licensed content, so you know straight away with Chronicle that what you're purchasing not only is it officially licensed from the brand that you're purchasing it from, but often it's, you know, very much endorsed by their creative team as well. So it's very, very core to the brand. You know, with Chronicle, you know, short term, what you'll be able to do with that is complete a collection, and sometimes when you complete your collection inside Chronicle, you're given maybe like an extra NFT on top of that as kind of like a bonus for collecting everything. We've done that a few times, once with Penn and Teller and once with Puppy Bowl. And the other thing that you'll be able to do as well is, if you're more kind of a NFT speculator and flipper, is once that withdrawal functionality opens and the secondary marketplace is functioning, yeah, you'll be able to kind of purchase and make sales of the NFTs. So, you know, that's very much the short-term thing. One thing that we're also working with the brands specifically, which is very important, is utility behind the NFT. So for example, with Penn and Teller, one thing that we did with them was if you made a purchase early on with the Penn and Teller NFT, you would be given access to a link from the Penn and Teller team, which was basically a digital access link that gave you access to additional content from the CW. That was kind of like the lowest level hanging fruit of something extra that we could give people for purchasing their NFT. More recently, we did some auctions with Puppy Bowl, which went to Ariana Grande's charity called Orange Twins Rescue. But the winners of those auctions actually get to have their face in the audience of the next Puppy Bowl on TV in 2023. That was an amazing opportunity. And I don't think, but when you think about what's possible with the utility behind Chronicle's NFTs with the brands, I mean, that's just one great example of things that we can do. You get to be on TV if you purchase this NFT is amazing. So short term, very much utility and purpose. Longer term, as mentioned, we are very much looking at the ability, I suppose, to connect the NFT collection of what people are collecting inside Chronicle to the Chronicle universe. So everything of what you do now will matter in the future. And an example of that might be that if you were to, I don't know, have a full collection or have half of a collection of a certain brand's digital collectibles inside Chronicle, maybe that will give you access to like a certain part of the map or the metaverse, in the future, and those kind of gamification ideas is currently what we're discussing.
Exciting. Anything to add, Jim? Or I think.
Tim I think Tim gave a very good explanation on the utility plans. I think in general, when we're talking about utility, we're not talking about what are the utilities of the NFT, because the utilities can be growing. So it's actually, there's a growing utilities for the NFT, because NFT effectively is a recognition for your ownership. So there's nothing can stop, say, a new brand coming in and do a new drop to the existing kind of NFT owners for a certain IP. So, and we already saw a lot of these trends in other Web3 and NFT platforms, where new projects launch based on the kind of your user behavior on the blockchain. So this is the promise of Web3. By participating in early and own the NFT, your privileges is locked within that NFT. So later there can be various ways that we can reward these NFT owners. That's why, say, when we're introducing Chronicle to Metaverse and introducing different brands to the Metaverse, it can be a great, I would say, opportunity for the existing NFT holders to enjoy actual benefits, because all of their kind of histories are already registered in the blockchain, in the system. So we can keep adding more utilities, giving out more digital assets based on the ownership of the NFT.
That sounds actually very good, because you always want to have different use cases and more uses to your NFT, not just have a JPEG saved in your computer, right? So that's great that you guys are taking that into consideration. And we've discussed a lot about how users can benefit, but the next question from Cyber Warrior 1, I think it's a very good question, which is, NFT has so much hype, growing rapidly, but new NFT projects still cannot get the hype they deserve. What can Chronicle do for them? What are the facilities that you guys can provide them to make them succeed? So not really for the individual buyer, but for the artist or the creator that wants to join forces with you. What are the benefits they can have by joining Chronicle?
Yeah, and this is kind of goes to our pitch, I suppose, when we're talking with all the brands, like why go with us? And versus there's so many different options at the moment of different NFT platforms, and the whole decentralized method of going ahead. And look, there's a number of different reasons for it. I can talk about the complexity of the space, and which from a brand perspective, for them to get in on the first step, they don't even know how to, I guess, with respect to this. And I think our offering of being able to sort of hold the studio's hands and basically create a plan with them, and us having I suppose even an animation studio to begin with, that certainly helps. So we do offer that for brands, where they don't have the ability to even create the animation or the NFT. We do offer that service for them. We also have a look at, I suppose, what's happening in the NFT space, and there's like a lot of if you look at OpenSea, for instance, or other decentralized platforms, in some cases, some of our brands have had copyright infringement from various other artists, or people putting their NFTs online using copyright from our brands, and so they're very reluctant to sort of go onto the different decentralized platforms. They want something that's centralized, where they have a direct sort of one-on-one relationship with the company, and so that that I guess makes it easy for us to have a conversation with them, or at least an introduction with them. One of the things which gets brought up in every discussion with the brands is I guess the blockchain as well, because one thing that's concerning, and I guess it gets brought up in a lot of media and PR, at least for the brands when they're seeing it, is proof of work and the environment and these kind of things. And so, that's kind of an opportunity for us to tell them, well, look, number one, Ethereum is moving from proof of work to proof of stake. And we've also built Chronicle on top of Aurora, which is an Ethereum virtual machine sitting on Near protocol, which already is proof of stake, and to go one step further, actually has a carbon offset program for its energy use. So essentially, has a program in place where it's committing to tree planting projects around the world. So again, that's something, I suppose, that's very attractive for the brands when we speak to them. And so I think we've got the technology. I think we've got the media background, which brands love, as opposed to sort of like a tech background. Specifically, we've got the animation studio, and then the idea for them, I suppose, to come onto a marketplace that has a growing community is mutually beneficial, because they get access to our early community base, and we get access to their fans, and that kind of helps Chronicle grow, and it also helps the brands get access to new users. But that's kind of the high level summary.
Yeah, sounds good. Jim, anything to add? I think
I just want to quickly add. I think Tim explained the part that how we approach brands and IPs, and in terms of the question how we can help the IP creators and all these artists. I think at the end of the day, we want to create a large audience for them, so that they can show off their talents, they show off their work, and some of them can be converted, and that's ultimately the way to help them. And in order to achieve that, I think we want to bring in the IPs and contents that already has a large user base, and those are the brands and IPs. So that's why we need to sit down, use our expertise to bring in these big guys, so we build up the audience, and then we can start bringing in smaller brands and individual artists, and then they can benefit from Chronicle's ecosystem.
Yeah, agreed. That's a very good strength. I think that you guys have that. I think many marketplaces are not taking that into account. They're like, oh yeah, just list there and go for it, and then you figure out how to sell it. But the fact that you guys are actually making an effort to bring an audience for this, artists, creators, etc., it's really good. So congratulations on that. So the next one is here from CoinMaster, and I think this is a good question. So he's talking about XNL. So you guys kind of talked a little bit about holding XNL and what kind of benefits it brings. But he asked, and maybe we can clarify a little bit, if in order to have access to this NFTs, do you must have a certain amount of XNL, or just any amount will do?
Yeah, great question. And I think this goes again to the utility and the purpose of XNL Token that we want to create. And I think kind of discussing the future roadmap. There's going to be projects which we do on Chronicle, where your XNL and your Chronicle passes are all going to matter, and they will give you access to that premium content. There will also be kind of talking, spoiler alert, but there may very well be projects where the drops are not on Chronicle. They are sort of on something like an OpenSea. But again, to be whitelisted, you're going to want to have XNL and you're going to want to have Chronicle passes. So yeah, very much. That is obviously the low level hanging fruit of utility for XNL Token, which is kind of like almost like I'm thinking of like an IDO platform, for instance, where you have their tokens and you kind of get special access, and you can kind of think in some aspects Chronicle going down that line for NFT specific drops for brands.
Okay, great. Anything to add, Jim?
Oh yeah, I think Tim pretty much answered it for me. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Okay, let's move on to the next one. This is also an interesting one because obviously, as we know, the NFT market is ever changing. So, and with things, we're noticing the hype going a little bit down because there's more adoption coming in. So maybe you guys can tell us a little bit more about your approach and, what kind of plans you have moving forward with all the current market, strategies and all of that.
Jim, do you want to start this one?
Yeah. I think our approach to the market first, our positioning is slightly different from other NFT projects. We're not doing purely doing our own IP like CryptoPunks or the Apes, or we are just pure a NFT marketplace. So we are a Web3 media company, which means we have a kind of comprehensive services around us, and currently we're focusing on serving brands, providing we would say NFT as a service to different brands. So we will give out a very sound plan in terms of marketing, in terms of creative, in terms of technical to the brands and IPs, and work closely with them to make sure that all the NFTs are in line with their style guides, with their kind of internal policies, and pushed out to the market. So this is kind of the two enterprise services we're offering. So this is one of our approach to the market. And in return, what we can get is every time we onboard a brand, the brand will market for us. The brand will market to their audience for us, together with us. So by onboarding each brand, we are expanding our audience and user base. I think this is very different from a lot of the NFT projects. They are targeting marketing and try to expand their audience within the Web3 community, while we are expanding our audience in the traditional world based on brands. So, for example, Puppy Ball has their own millions of fans, and then Penn and Teller has their own Magic fans. So by onboarding different brands, we got in touch with different markets, and that's how we can, as we grow, the market effect, in that scenario would go exponentially. So that's kind of our approach at this stage.
Okay, yeah, and I think that's a good idea. Participating with the brands you're actually working on, not just listing them. It's a great strategy for growth, indeed. Tim, anything to add, or do you think Jim covered?
Definitely covered it, and I think just like you said earlier, NFTs are, the whole space is always evolving, and I think that we're always looking for, unique, different case studies for the utility behind the NFTs of what we can provide, and we're very interested in the long-term utility, long-term gamification of not only just the NFT but also the collection and also the platform, and how big this can be, both with the brand and with Chronicle. Yeah,
agreed. And speaking of long term, we have this question, which is most users care about immediate benefits. They're trading, day trading, or short term trading. So how what would you say to users in order to invest long term in your project? What would be the benefit or your vision in the long term so that they would be actually willing to invest in the long term?
I actually love this question because I agree with the premise. I think a lot of crypto is kind of a little bit short-sighted. You know, and one of the things I'm most proud of with Chronicle and the vision and the mission statement and the team is that this is not a short-term play. We want to be around for 5-10 years, you know, at least minimum. We see this as a very long-term play, and that's why we're kind of talking a little bit more today about Chronicle Media, the company, and the ecosystem of what we're trying to achieve and build. And so I think when it comes to, you know, whether it's XNL Token or the collectibles on Chronicle, you know, the platform, whilst it's in beta, is going to have many more features built to it. You know, we're going to be coming back out with the Android application and fingers crossed an iOS application as well, which are having, you know, major I guess upgrades because we completely revamped the payment system recently, so they're coming out again within the next few weeks. And you know, we're very committed to kind of creating a very good user experience for our users and for new users. And I guess, you know, again, longer term, kind of talking a little bit today about things like Chronicle passes, XNL token integration, as well as the Chronicle universe, and you know, that's kind of just, you know, the first sort of 2 or 3 years. And you know, again, who knows where the space is going to evolve, and you know, which brand we're going to be partnering with, and what they might want us to do. So you know, again, we definitely do have a very long-term vision. And again, I think, you know, in crypto, kind of, you know, it's kind of fair to say that, you know, crypto goes through you know, bull runs and bear markets. Again, from the I guess from the mission statement of Chronicle, again, we're trying to attract users that are in the traditional world. And so, you know, the idea kind of being there that Chronicle is not a platform which will go quiet in the bear market and popular in the bull market. We want it to be, you know, an all year round fun place for people to come.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, I think just quickly adding to Tim's comment is that I think by convincing people about our vision, definitely we need to do more AMAs like this, where we can sit and explain our visions to the audience and explain our roadmaps and do small spoilers to the community, and so to get them excited, because I think one reason people are especially in our case is the pace that we're dealing with from the community, and also the brands are very different. If we're dealing with a brand and license in the traditional licensing world, it takes very long time. It needs to go through the approval from different departments of that studio. It goes through the legal, the marketing, the creatives, the technical. So it's a very long process. While in the crypto community, people just look at the ups and downs of the charts. So it's kind of two different mindsets, and we will try our best to kind of be transparent and let people see the work that we put behind the scenes. And also we want the product to be perfect, to better reflect how what is our vision on NFT and how we can bridge the IP and brands and the fans. So I think that would be kind of our solutions to convince people.
Yeah, agreed. And I love the comments that you guys made of, you know, you're not just bringing the Web3 people because they go along with the trends, but when you're bringing the new users, traditional users, this means there's going to be a little bit more stability. Because yeah, right now what I'm hearing from all markets, traditional markets and crypto markets, is you know uncertainty. So I think by bringing users that are actually interested in the long term and interested in purchasing the NFT because of the value that brings to them, that helps solve a little bit of this uncertainty that's going on through the market. So definitely congratulations on that strategy. I think it's going to go well, hopefully, for you guys. So we're going to start wrapping it up. Maybe you guys can tell us if people want to learn more, connect with you guys, maybe find a job. Where can they connect with you guys?
Yeah, so our website is probably the first starting point, www.chronicle.io. We are also on Discord, which is very new, by the way, so we're definitely trying to grow that community. So yeah, certainly join our Discord if you're watching or listening on the chat. We're also on Twitter as well. We do have a Telegram community. I think we have an Instagram and maybe a TikTok as well. But yeah, certainly I think website and Discord will probably be the two best places to find us.
Okay, amazing. Thank you. And what should people be pending the most in this upcoming month? What would your advice be for them, for everyone who's watching? Guys, please stay pending to this news or this date or something like that. What would you say to them?
Certainly, if they're happy to wait as soon as Monday, some of the things that we spoke about today, we're going to actually be putting out a bit of a roadmap tease for some of the discussion today. So I think on Monday, if you actually want to sort of see a little bit or deep dive a little bit further into some of the things that we've discussed here and some of the sneak peeks, we'll definitely be doing that. Brand releases again, I think I mentioned two on this call, Yuhu and Friends and Zoro. We've got at least I think another two at least signed. Another big one is about to be signed, and that would be our biggest of anything that we've done on Chronicle so far. So and again, tied in with the brand releases, all of the upcoming functionality. Yeah, we can expect April to be quite a busy month again for Chronicle.
Amazing. We'll definitely stay pending.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead, Jim. Were you gonna add something?
Yeah. I would just like yeah, it's the same thing. I think what people should be tuned to is the IPs going to onboard Chronicle, and also use that as a reference to see the potential of Chronicle and where it can go in the future. Yeah.
Definitely. We will go and check it out. And thanks so much for sharing, guys. Thanks to everyone who is here. Any closing remarks that you would like to make before we say goodbye to everyone? No? From you guys, no?
Oh yeah. Yeah, thanks everyone for joining the AMA, and also those that who will see this AMA later in the recording. Please stay tuned to Chronicle. We have a lot of stuff coming out, and please follow us on social media, and we'd like to see you there.
Awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. As Jim said, yeah, do check us out. If you've got 5 minutes, register to the Chronicle platform and just, be a part of our community, and we'll love to see you.
Definitely. We'll go and check it out. And remember, guys, you can trade XNL and Gate today. They're actually up, so very good numbers to go and check out. Thanks for being here, Tim and Jim. We really appreciate your time and effort. And thanks to everyone who was here watching. Now, let's go have a great day.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
Bye, everyone.